Hello everyone, welcome to my blog and YouTube channel. In this video, I will be showing how I foil this card using a Brutus Monroe glue, embossing and double-sided adhesive tape. I squirted a little bit of Brutus Monroe glue onto my craft mat and absorbed it all into a mini blender sponge, and using the sponge as an ink pad, I inked the glue onto the stamp and stamped it onto my paper. You have to be pretty fast in doing this because the glue dries fast, so I would wash the stamp as soon as I stamped it onto the cardstock. Also, it doesn't matter if the glue on the cardstock dries because the heat will reactivate it. I let my laminator get hot for about 30 minutes before I started foiling, and I'm sending my piece twice through the laminator. The second time I rotated it about a 90 degrees. The foil that I am using today is called Gold Shattered Glass and it is from Therm O Web. After foiling the stack of cups, I colored it with water-based marker. I didn't want to use my alcohol markers on this because I was afraid the ink will stain the foil. Now for foiling the sentiment, I decided to use embossing. So I embossed the sentiment with icicle embossing powder, Brutus Monroe. The stamp set I'm using is called Tea Time and it is from Brutus Monroe. This time I didn't let my laminator get hot enough, so I had to send it twice through the laminator. Otherwise, for foiling the embossing images, I would suggest letting the laminator get hot for about 15 to 20 minutes and sending them through only once. Once again, it depends on the laminator that you use. I die cut the sentiment with the oval die. I used the Therm O Web deco foil glue pen to add a border around the oval sentiment panel. I would suggest waiting for it to dry, but I was so impatient to see the result that I foiled immediately, so I had to apply the glue a few times before I got it perfect. If you wait for it to dry and then foil, you wouldn't have to do it again and again, like me. I used my craft knife to remove foil from some of the places where I didn't want it, and then I used my mono eraser to smooth it out. I decided to do a fancy border for the card base. I placed the card in a diagonal way on my craft mat and used the measuring lines on the mat to adhere double-sided adhesive onto the border of the card. These lines are ½ inch apart. Once I finished throughout the card, I moved the card slightly so that I can adhere in between the lines that I have already. My plan is to have double-sided adhesive tape every ½ inch throughout the border. After adhering the tapes, I flip the card over and cut out any extra tape that is hanging over the edge of the card. Now comes the fun part, foiling. I removed the release paper from a few of the adhesive strips at a time and applied the gold shattered glass foil onto it. I found that using a tweezer to remove the release paper would be faster than removing it with hand. You can also use the scrap pieces of foil that you have lying around to make this border. After finishing the entire border, you will see that it makes the entire time worth it. Now I adhered a piece of white cardstock of size 4 by 5 and a quarter on top of this A2 card base, and I adhered the foiled stack of cups and the sentiment panel onto the card base. I used Brutus Monroe glue for adhering my cardstock layers. This is my card for today. Thank you for stopping by. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. Bye.